Folks, you know, Lady Sandamtod here, doing a quick video, kind of an update on an update. This past 3 weeks has been horrible. I had this, you know, I've talked about the stomach thing, pain like right in this general area of my stomach, and it's debilitating to the point where I can't do anything. And finally, I went to the emergency room last weekend because I had seen my doctor, and he said, you know, you got to give the time for this medicine to get in your system, but if the pain's too bad, go to the emergency room. And I was just sick of it after close to 3 weeks of dealing with it. It's going on like 4 weeks, I guess, really. And so I went to the emergency room, and they did a CT scan and some other stuff and had me do a urine test. They did lab work, and they were checking things. They were concerned about my pancreas. They said the pancreas was fine. It wasn't inflamed or enlarged, or it didn't look like there's anything going on with it based on lab work and stuff. But they were concerned about my liver. And I'm a fat dude. I've always been heavy. I've been overweight pretty much all my life. I've never been normal weight. I've always been overweight or obese or morbidly obese. And so they did a liver ultrasound about a year or so ago. And they said I had fatty liver, which is non-alcoholic because I don't drink. I haven't drank since my 20s. I mean, I might have had a sip or two here in my early 30s and maybe half of a wine cooler on my 40th birthday. But I don't drink. And I mean, so the liver, from what I saw, you know, some people get fatty liver, some people don't, and they don't really know exactly why some people do versus some people don't. And you know, there are ways to reverse fatty liver. And when they told me at the time, you have fatty liver, I'm like, okay, my liver's fatty. I'm a fat guy. You know, and I didn't really look into what I should be doing nutritionally or anything about it. And at that time, I was on the no-carb diet or keto diet or whatever. And, you know, I was losing weight and stuff, but I'm eating, you know, really fatty, rich, fatty foods. I'm eating, you know, a lot of sour cream, whole cream, butter, fatty meats, you know. And I don't remember having the stomach problem, but at the same time, I'm wondering, because that's the type of shit when they say you have cirrhosis that you should stay away from. I'm wondering if I didn't accidentally or unintentionally do some damage to my liver by eating that stuff. Even though I was losing weight and thinking I was doing something positive, if I wasn't damaging another part of my body inadvertently for a year, you know, on top of having fatty liver, and maybe pushed it more towards this cirrhosis level, which cirrhosis is a big deal. I mean, it's not cool. It's your liver, it basically has scar tissue on it, and because it gets damaged over time, and it forms scar tissue. And cirrhosis is pretty severe form of scar tissue on the liver. That's why I'm having this test done next week. That's what I'm going to tell y'all. On Monday, I went to the emergency room. They told me to follow up with the GI clinic there at the hospital. I called, and they told me it was going to be a month for me to have an appointment. And I was like, a month? You know, I'd already been dealing with this. I'm like, I don't know. So, I you know, went along, was trying to eat some stuff, but I really wasn't eating, you know, and that much. And I ended up, you know, starting to eat some toast, and it didn't upset my stomach. So I ate some eggs, some scrambled eggs and toast, and it didn't upset my stomach. And then I ate part of a banana, and then I ate, you know, so, and last night I tried some tuna fish, and it was okay. I mean, I've been okay today. I haven't noticed anything feeling like it's starting to hurt yet. But I just still, I was, worried. And finally, I just called back because I was talking to somebody, and they're like, well, why don't you call in and ask them if they have any cancellations, if they can get you in sooner, And so I called back on Wednesday and was like, I just wanted to know if there was any cancellations, if you could bump me up on the list. And they actually said, this was, it was Wednesday or Thursday. And they said whatever day it was, that they actually had an opening up at Friday at 8 in the morning. And I was like, okay, that's yesterday at 8 in the morning. And so I go in there, and I talk with the woman. I tell her where I've been getting the pain. I tell her I'm kind of feeling shaky and stuff at that time. And they're like checking, they're just talking to me and stuff. And of course they're worried about the cirrhosis. Well, part of that cirrhosis is being shaky and whatever. But the problem is I haven't eaten really anything in weeks, and I'm low on energy. I'm on edge because I'm stressed out, and it's just like I don't know. So she's having me like hold my hands out in front of me and do this stuff to see how shaky I am and stuff. And I'm like, and so she tells me that she thinks we ought to do an EGD. Now, I don't know if you know what EGD is. I don't really know what EGD stands for. Epigastrial something, I don't know. They're going to send a scope down my throat on Monday to my stomach and look down here where I'm getting this pain and see what's going on. And hopefully it's treatable through medication, or if I got to have some kind of procedure or something done, hopefully it's something, that we can knock out and start getting on the path here. But then on Wednesday, they want me to go have my liver, like a vibration scan done or something, to see the elasticity of my liver, to see where we're at as far as like maybe the cirrhosis or whatever. I'm thinking that if it has progressed, it's got to be early stage. I read a lot of the symptoms. I do have a couple of the symptoms. Yeah, I have high blood pressure, but I've had high blood pressure for a long time. I have a 20-something-year-old half-sister that's on high blood pressure medicine. My dad's on it. It's just one of those things. Even in my 20s, they said my blood pressure was slightly high, but they didn't put me on any medicine at the time, and then I just didn't go to the doctor for years because I really didn't have a need to. So, who knows? I might have had high blood pressure my whole life, or since my 20s and not known it until past 3 or 4 years. And then, this liver thing, I'm thinking, if it did progress from fatty liver, it couldn't be that far along, because I do have some swelling in my legs, and I do have high blood pressure, and dry skin. It said dry skin, but there was a bunch of stuff like jaundice and like puffy eyes and like yellow eyes and all this stuff, and I don't have any of that stuff, and it's just like I'm hoping that if it did progress, because they seem to keep throwing that word around that it did, that it's early stage and we can just treat it, and keep it in check. And we're gonna change. We're gonna change our life. We're gonna, as far as like diet and exercise, and we're gonna be here. We're gonna live. We're gonna live. We're gonna have a life. And I don't know. I don't know where that's gonna lead. Right now, I'm been so down and depressed and everything about this that I'm starting to get a little excited that at least something's we're going to find something out, or do some tests to start the path to figure out what's going on. And I need just to change and be healthier and be a better person, and as far as my health and taking care of myself. And if anything, over the past couple of weeks, I've been really sick of everything. I've been sick of everything around me, my house, my surroundings, my job, just down on everything. And I still am just kind of, yuck. I don't know. And I've told you before, folks, I'm kind of an introverted guy, and I like to have time to myself, but I realized in the past 3 weeks, being by myself and then going through a health thing, it's scary to be alone. I mean, completely by yourself when stuff like this happens. And it's like, it makes you think, you know. And I've always had somebody around that I either lived with, like a roommate or something, to spend time with and not feel completely alone. But since my mom passed, I've lived alone, and it's starting to, I think, wear on me a little bit. And I don't really have any friends. I don't, you guys are friends, you are, but I need some social interaction in my life, like in person. And it's like, I don't know what I need to do. I talked today about some stuff with a lady here at work, and you know, maybe I need to do volunteer work or something, or just be able to meet people, you know, and do something, or do some kind of class or something. I don't know. I just need interaction. I need to quit secluding myself so much from the world, and being so frustrated with everybody, thinking everybody's an idiot. And I don't know, maybe I get more enjoyment out of my life that way. So I'm going to sign off. Yeah, I have a liver scan on Wednesday. It's a non-invasive procedure, and I'll be able to come into work after that. Monday, I'm getting knocked out for that one thing, and then they're going to take blood work after that to determine my sodium levels and stuff. Because they were freaked out on after I left on Friday. They called me back. I don't know if they were freaked out, but the lady called me back and said some of my results are back and that my sodium levels were pretty low, and that I should probably go to the emergency room again. That's what they told me to do. So I go to the emergency room, and I get there, and I sit there for about 2 hours, and basically they did nothing, and they changed one of my prescriptions, my high blood pressure medicine. I had a diuretic in it. They took me off that because they said sometimes if your water levels are off, your sodium can get messed up, and the pill makes you retain more water or get rid of water, I don't know, whatever, the diuretic. And that they just take my blood in a couple of days and check it again, because the drop wasn't acute, which means it didn't happen like in a couple hours time. It didn't drop like 3 or 4. It was like over days. And so basically they made it kind of seem like the lady at the, you know, the lady that told me to go back to the ER was a little overly not jumped the gun, overreacted a little bit to sending me back there, which kind of pissed me off, because it was like, it ended up costing me money again to go back there for that, for no reason, basically. So, I don't know, you know, I mean, we're just dealing with, I ate some eggs this morning for breakfast and toast, and a little bit of applesauce, and drank one of those Ensure nutrient shakes, and we're going to see how the day goes. So far, so good. So, yeah, I'm going to try to get some video game. I haven't done anything video games even, folks. I'm telling you. I tried playing some over the past few weeks, and it just, almost just playing those even, I'm just like, this just sucks. I just don't, I know, I don't know. I'm just down on even that. I don't even want to play video games. I just don't feel like it. And it's just like, the only thing I felt like doing actually was I watched Bithead 1000's video on Shadowgate that he did. And so I started trying to play Shadowgate again to see if I could remember how far I could get into it from memory. And he was right. I mean, he said that nobody solved that without a guide or somebody to help them. Nobody solved that. I mean, I don't know how anybody would have solved that game. Maybe way back in the day, but I mean, even by the time it came on Nintendo, it had already been on the PC and Macintosh, I think, and people had already figured it out. So, I mean, we knew a guy that had already played through it when we got it for the Nintendo, so we would just ask him, and he would tell us how to get by something if we were stuck for too long. So anyway, yeah. So I did try to play a little bit of that, but I got kind of frustrated with the torches and shit, too, that Bidhead was talking about, so I just kind of gave up. But that was a little bit fun, a little retro, a little nostalgia. So, yeah, so... Anyway, folks, I'm trying to live life and figure out what the hell's going on with me, and I'm trying to give you all an update, let you know what's up, and I'll have something for you soon, some content that's happy, joy. So we'll sign off and talk to you later, folks. Adam out. I did shave the beard part of it. I kept the goatee. I had my hair like this early 30s. I think by the time I started YouTube, I had already grown the beard down. But recently, yeah, I was sick of that too, so I shaved it and kept the goatee for now. But we'll see. You know, things happen. Maybe I'll grow it back. Who knows? But maybe not. So anyway, folks, this is Sandamtod signing off. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for checking us out, and we'll talk to you soon.